The crowd rose in a wave of anticipation as the ball found its way to a slight figure on the right wing. He was only 17. But when Lamine Yamal touched the ball, time seemed to slow. A flick, a sprint, a perfectly weighted cross, and the net rippled. Again, in a season bursting with drama, disappointment, and dizzying brilliance, it is this teenager, soft-spoken off the pitch, ruthless on it, who has defined the rhythm of the game. From the heart of La Masia to the grand stages of La Liga and the UEFA European Championship, Lamine Yamal has become not just a prodigy, but a protagonist in the global football story of 2024 to 2025. A season written in records. He has played 50 matches for Barcelona this season, not as a passenger, but as a leader. With 16 goals and 24 assists across all competitions, Yamal hasn't just impressed, he's carried the club at times. When veterans faltered, it was his youthful instincts and technical precision that delivered. In the UEFA Champions League, he danced past seasoned defenders as if he had done it all before, because in some way, he has. Coaches whisper that he plays like someone twice his age. At 17, he's been trusted with over 4,000 minutes this season in matches where silverware was on the line. And in Euro 2024, he cemented his place in Spanish football history, not just as the youngest to ever feature in the tournament, but as the youngest to score. In 7 games for Spain, he registered 1 goal and 4 assists, including a match-winning display in the semi-final that left pundits grasping for superlatives. From Barcelona's streets to Ballon d'Or hype, it started quietly. A shy boy from Esplugues de Llobregat, of Moroccan and Equatorial heritage, trained in the shadows of Messi's greatness. But as Lionel left, Lamine stepped forward. Lamine Yamal deserves to win the Ballon d'Or this year, declared Jorge Mendes, his agent, just last week. And few disagreed. He's the youngest player ever to score in El Clasico, the youngest to score in a European Championship, and the youngest to become a serious Ballon d'Or contender. A boy doing a man's job, better than most men ever could. A calm soul in a roaring storm. Despite the praise, there's no arrogance in him. His interviews are short, his social media sparse. While others polish their brands, Yamal sharpens his game. He's different, said Barcelona manager Xavi Hernandez. There's brilliance in his feet, but also humility in his heart. That combination is rare. That's why we trust him. The road ahead. As the season closes, Lamine Yamal's story is still being written, but already it's one of legend. There are whispers of Real Madrid preparing a counterattack, PSG circling with open checkbooks, and even Barcelona fans drawing comparisons to a young Lionel Messi. But for now, Lamine remains grounded, in his boots, in his city, in his purpose. And as the curtain falls on a season like no other, one thing is clear. This wasn't just the rise of a new star. It was the arrival of the future. Suffering makes us strong. Barcelona joy, despite Mbappé record. After a heartbreaking defeat by Inter Milan in the Champions League semi-finals, there was a very real possibility of Barcelona's season falling apart. In recent seasons, perhaps it would. Downgrading a potential treble to a solitary cup triumph would have been on brand not so long ago, given the club's struggles on and off the pitch in recent years. But this is a new Barcelona. After falling 2-0 behind in Sunday's Clásico against arch-rivals Real Madrid, the 3rd time in 4 matches they have done that, Barcelona roared back to lead 4-2 at halftime, 4-3 by the end. After surviving some late Madrid pressure, Barcelona no victory against Espanyol on Thursday will secure a 28th league crown. Defeat for Madrid against Mallorca on Wednesday would do the job for them. 4 Clásico victories in the same season, only the second time that has ever happened, highlights the marvelous job Hansi Flick has done since replacing Xavi as manager last summer. A team who not too long ago lacked identity and belief now have both in abundance, even if they don't do things the easy way. With young players including Lamine Yamal, Pedri and Pau Kubasi enjoying stellar campaigns, the Blaugrana look well equipped to fight on all fronts for years to come. After a quiet opening period on Sunday, Flick's attack picked Madrid apart with their relentless pressing and ruthless finishing. Defense remains a concern, and despite his loyalty to a high-line system, Flick pledged to work on it. "I think this journey that we started last year, it's not over. I know that we have to improve a lot in defense," he said. "It has nothing to do with the back four. When we make mistakes, Real have fantastic offensive players." Speaking to Movistar Plus, Yamal said, "It was obviously very important to win today. It's great to have this game after the Champions League. I think it's already forgotten. Suffering is what makes you strong and what teaches you to correct the mistakes you make. It's been a difficult year. We haven't been able to be in our stadium. In the end, I told my mother, the Champions League is every year. We'll keep trying. It was very important to win today to get closer to the league title. We are delighted. Victory means Barcelona have a 7-point advantage over second-placed Real Madrid with 3 games remaining. They are almost there. We have to defend better. If the future of Barcelona looks bright, then the same cannot be said of Real Madrid. Carlo Ancelotti's time at the club looks to be ending, and it is happening in the worst possible way. Though Los Blancos played their part in a pulsating game, a 4th consecutive loss to their bitter rivals effectively handed them the league title. Kylian Mbappé gave Madrid a 2-0 lead inside 15 minutes, becoming the club's highest-ever scorer in a debut campaign, before completing his hat-trick in the second half. Yet the defensive struggles that derailed their season were clear for all to see as Barca led 4-2 by half-time. Conceding 16 goals in 4 Clásicos this season is simply not acceptable. Madrid pushed in the second half as Mbappé completed his hat-trick, but at the other end of the pitch, Barcelona ran riot. Things would have been different had 21-year-old substitute Victor Muñoz not blazed over when through on goal, but then scoring goals has not been a major issue for Ancelotti's side this season. That said, Ancelotti's main shortcoming this season has been the failure to find balance in a team with Mbappé, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and Jude Bellingham at his disposal. It was an evenly played match, competitive and fought until the last second. Ancelotti told reporters, "We could have scored the equalizer, but it is what it is. It was a great game between 2 great teams, so I have nothing to reproach my team for in terms of attitude and commitment. It didn't go well, but we competed. We have to defend better. That is quite evident from today's game. We defended badly, and that's that." Ancelotti is widely expected to leave the club at the end of the season, with former Madrid player Xabi Alonso expected to replace him once he leaves Bayer Leverkusen. The Spaniard could have his work cut out. Asked pre-match about his future, Ancelotti said, "With this club, the honeymoon doesn't end. The honeymoon with Madrid will last until the last day of my life." A trophyless campaign hardly seems a fitting finale for a coach who has brought 15 major trophies to the club. Again. In Premier League, embarrassed Ruben Amorim admitted that he may need to walk away from Manchester United if he cannot turn their disastrous form around quickly next season. Sunday's 2-0 defeat by West Ham made it 17 league defeats this season. 13 of which have come under Amorim's watch. In a fiery post-match press conference, Amorim fumed at the lack of urgency in his team, accused his players of not caring about losing matches anymore, and said that United have lost the feeling of being a big club. Asked how he is feeling, a spiky Amorim said, "How a manager of Manchester United is supposed to feel in that position. Embarrassed, and it's hard to accept. Everybody has to think seriously about a lot of things here. We need to be really strong in the summer and be brave. We are losing the feeling of we are a massive club, and it's the end of the world to lose a game at home. I think that is the biggest concern in our club." Asked if he can be the man to turn things around, he ominously added, "It's not the players' fault. It's my fault. I'm responsible. If we cannot change that really fast, we should give our place to different persons." This was as bemused as Amorim has been after a match since arriving to replace Erik ten Hag earlier this season. He has long insisted that winning the Europa League, they will play Tottenham Hotspur in Bilbao on May 21st, will not salvage their season, and he was adamant here that the upcoming final is the least of his concerns. "To be honest with you, I'm not concerned about the final," he said. "It's by far the smallest problem in our club. We need to change something that is deeper than this. We are showing that in the end of this season that we are not playing in the Premier League, and Champions League for us is the moon, so we need to know that. I'm not concerned about the final. They will be focused, and I don't know what is best, if it's playing in Champions League or not. So let's think about Chelsea to improve a lot of things." Captain Bruno Fernandes agreed with his manager that too many players have one eye on the final, which they may have to play without Lenny Yoro after he went off injured.